Good morning. So our topic for today is agrarian reform policy. So I assign history of agrarian reform, the Philippine Republic. So the Philippine Republic, or also known as the New Republic, a republic in Sea Asia occupying an archipelago of about 7,100 islands, including Luzon, Mindanao, Samar, and Negros, became a Spanish colony in 1571 but ceded to the U.S. in 1898 after the Spanish-American War. After the establishment of the Philippine independence in 1946, the province of land tenure remained. This became worse in certain areas. Thus the Congress of the Philippines revised in the tenancy law. So, first president in the Philippine Republic is Manuel A. Rojas. In 1946 to 1948, he was the fifth president of the Philippines who served from 1946 until his death in 1948. He briefly served as the third and last president of the Commonwealth of the Philippines from May 28, 1946 to July 4, 1946, and then became the first president of the independent Third Philippine Republic after the United States ceded its sovereignty over the Philippines. So President Manuel A. Rojas enacted the following laws. First law is Republic Act number 34. So he established the 70-30 sharing arrangement and regulating shared tenancy contract. The second is Republic Act number 55, provided for a more effective safeguard against arbitrary ejectments of tenants. The second president is Elpidio R. Quirino, 1948 to 1952. He was a Filipino lawyer and politician who served as the sixth president of the Philippines from 1948 to 1953. He was elected as senator from 1925 to 1931. In 1935, he was also elected to the convention that drafted the 1935 Constitution for the newly established Commonwealth. The Quirino administration was generally challenged by the Hokbalahabs, who ransacked towns and barrios. Quirino ran for president again in 1953, but was defeated by Ramon Magsaysay, Hukbong Bayan Laban sa Hapon, or Hokbalahab. Elpidio Quirino enacted the following law. Executive Order number 325, issued on October 23, 1950. He replaced the National Land Settlement Administration with Land Settlement Development Corporation, or LASEDECO, which takes over the responsibilities of the Agriculture Machinery Equipment Corporation and the Rice and Corn Production. The third president is Ramon Magsaysay, 1953 to 1957. He was a Filipino statesman who served as the seventh president of the Philippines from December 30, 1953 until his death in an aircraft disaster. He served 2 terms as Liberal Party congressman for Zambales at large district before being appointed Secretary of National Defense by President Elpidio Quirino. He was elected president under the banner of the Nacionalista Party. Ramon Magsaysay enacted the following laws. Republic Act number 1160 over 1954. He abolished the LASEDECO and established the National Resettlement and Rehabilitation Administration, also known NARA, to resettle dissident and landless farmers. It was particularly aimed at rebel returnees, providing home lots and farmlands in Palawan and Mindanao. The second is Republic Act number 1199, Agricultural Tenancy Act of 1954, governed the relationship between landowners and tenants, farmers by organizing shared tenancy and leasehold system. The law provided the security of tenure of tenants. It also created the Court of Agrarian Relations. Third is Republic Act number 1400, Land Reform Act of 1955, created the Land Tenure Administration, which was responsible for the acquisition and distribution of large tenant rice and corn lands over 200 hectares for individual and 600 hectares for corporations. Republic Act number 821, creation of agricultural credits cooperative financing administration, provided small farmers and share tenants loans with low interest rates of 6. The next president is Carlos P. Garcia, 1957 to 1961. He was a Filipino teacher, poet, orator, lawyer, public official, political economist, guerrilla, and Commonwealth military leader, who was the 8th president of the Philippines. President Carlos P. Garcia continued the program of President Ramon Magsaysay. No new legislation passed. The next president is President Diosdado P. Macapagal, 1961 to 1965. He was the 9th president of the Philippines, serving from 1961 to 1965, and then the 6th vice president, serving from 1957 to 1961. He was the father of Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, who followed his path as president of the Philippines from 2001 to 2010. He introduced the country's first land reform law, placed the peso on the free currency exchange market, and liberalized foreign exchange and import control. He enacted the following law: Republic Act number 3844 of August 8, 1963, Agricultural Land Reform Code, abolished share tenancy, institutionalized leasehold, set retention limit at 75 hectares, invest rights of preemption and redemption for tenants. Farmers provided for an administrative machinery for implementation, institutionalized a judicial system of agrarian uses, incorporated extension, marketing, and supervised credit system of serving of farmers' beneficiaries. The RA was held as one that would emancipated Filipino farmers from the bondage of. The next president is Ferdinand E. Marcos, 1965 to 1986. He was a Filipino politician, lawyer, and kleptocrat who served as the 10th president of the Philippines from 1965 to 1986. President Marcos enacted the following laws: Republic Act number 6389, Code of Agrarian Reform, and RA number 6390 of 1971, created the Department of Agrarian Reform and the Agrarian Reform Special Account Fund. It strengthened the position of farmers and expanded the scope of agrarian reform. Presidential Decree number 2, September 26, 1972, declared the country under the Land Reform Program. It enjoined all agencies and offices of the government to extend full cooperation and assistance to the DAR. It also activated the Agrarian Reform Coordinating Council. Presidential Decree number 27, October 21, 1972, restricted land reform scope to tenanted rice, corn lands, and set the retention limit at 7. Next president is Corazon Aquino, 1986 to 1992. He was a Filipino politician who served as the 11th president of the Philippines, the first woman to hold that office. Corazon Aquino. President Corazon Aquino enacted the following laws: Executive Order number 228, July 16, 1987, declared full ownership to qualified farmer beneficiaries over by PD 27. It also determined the value remaining and value rice and corn lands subject of PD 27, and provided for the manner of payment by the FBs and mode of compensation to landowners. Executive Order number 229, July 22, 1987, provided mechanism for the implementation of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program or CARP. Proclamation number 131, July 22, 1987, institute the CARP as a major program of the government. It provides for a special funds known as the Agrarian Reform Fund, with an initial amount of the 50 billion to cover the estimated cost of the program from 1987 to 1992. Executive Order number 129A, July 26, 1987. Streamlined and expanded the power of and operations of DAR. Republic Act number 6657, June 10, 1988. Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law. An act which became effective June 15, 1988. And institute a comprehensive agrarian reform program to promote social justice and industrialization, providing the mechanism for its implementation and for the other purposes. Next is Executive Order number 405, June 14, 1990. Vested in the Land Bank of the Philippines the responsibility to determine land valuation and compensation for all lands covered by CARP. Executive Order number 407, June 14, 1990. Accelerated the acquisition and distribution of agricultural lands, pasture lands, fish ponds, agroforestry lands, and other lands of the public domain. Next is President Fidel V. Ramos, 1992 to 1998. Is a retired Filipino general and politician who served as the 12th President of the Philippines from 1992 to 1998. President Fidel V. Ramos enacted the following laws: Republic Act number 7881, 1995, amended certain provision of RA 6657 and exempted fish ponds and prawns from the coverage of CARP. Republic Act number 7905 in 1995, strengthened the implementation of the CARP. Executive Order number 363, 1997, limits the type of lands that may be converted by setting conditions, under which limits the type of land that may be converted by the setting conditions under which specific categories of agricultural land are either absolutely non-negotiable for conversion or highly restricted for conversion. Republic Act number 8435, 1997, Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Act, plug the legal loopholes in land use conversion. Republic Act 8532, 1998, Agrarian Reform Fund Bill, provided an additional 50 billion for CARP and extended its implementation. Next president is President Joseph Estrada, 1998 to 2000. He, also known as a nickname Era, is a Filipino politician and former actor who served as the 13th President of the Philippines from 1998 to 2001. 9th Vice President of the Philippines from 1992 to 1998. Era para sa mahirap. This was the battle cry that endured President Joseph Estrada and made him very popular during 1998 presidential election. President Joseph Estrada initiated the enactment of the following law: Executive Order number 151, September 1999. Farmers Trust Fund allowed the voluntary consolidation of small farm operation into medium and large-scale integrated enterprises that can access long-term capital. During his administration, President Estrada launched the Magkabalikat para sa kaunlarang agraryo o magkasaka na therefore forged into joint ventures with investors in the agrarian sector to make FBs competitive. However, the Estrada administration was short-lived. The masses who put him into office demanded. The next president is Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. He is a Filipino academic and politician who served as the 14th President of the Philippines from 2001 until 2010. The Agrarian Reform Program under the Arroyo administration is anchored on the vision to make the countryside economically viable for the Filipino family by building partnership and promoting social equity and new economic opportunities toward lasting peace and sustainable rural development. Land tenure improvements. DAR will remain vigorous in implementing land acquisition and distribution component of CARP. The DAR will improve land tenure system through land distribution and leasehold. Provision of support services. CARP not only involves the distribution of lands but also included package of support services which includes credit assistance, extension services, irrigation facilities, roads and bridges, marketing facilities, and training and technical support programs. Infrastructure project that will transform agrarian reform communities. An area focuses on integrated delivery of support services into rural economic zone that will help in the creation of jobs. Kalahi R Zone. The Kalahi Agrarian Reform CAR Zone were also launched. This zone consists of one or more municipalities with concentration of ARC population to achieve greater agro-productivity. Agrarian justice. To help clear backlog of agrarian cases, there will hire more paralegal officers to support undermanned adjudicatory boards and introduce quota system to complete adjudicators to work faster on agrarian reform cases. There will respect the rights of both President is Benigno Aquino III, 2010 to 2016, also known as Pinoy or Noy Noy, is a Filipino politician who served as the 15th President of the Philippines from 2010 until 2016. President Benigno Aquino III vowed during his 2012 State of the National Address that would complete before the end of his term the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, CARP, the centerpiece program of the administration of his mother, President Corazon Aquino. The younger Aquino distributed their family-owned hacienda, Luisita in Tarlac. Apart from the said farm lots, he also promised to complete the distribution of privately owned lands of productive agriculture estates in the country that have escaped the coverage of the program. Agrarian Production Credit Program, also known APCP, provided credit support for crop production to newly organized and existing agrarian reforms beneficiary organization and farmers organizations not qualified to avail themselves of loans under the regular credit windows of banks. The legal case monitoring system, a web-based legal system for recording and monitoring various kinds of agrarian cases at the provincial, regional, and central office of the DAR to ensure fastest resolution and class monitoring of agrarian-related cases. Aside from these initiatives, Aquino also enacted Executive Order No. 26, Series of 2011, to mandate the Department of Agriculture, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Department of Agrarian Reform Convergence Initiative to develop a national greening program in cooperation with other government. The last president is Rodrigo Roa Duterte, 2016 to present, also known as Digong and Rudy, is a Filipino politician who is the current president of the Philippines and the first from Mindanao to hold the office. The president directed the DAR to launch the second phase of agrarian reform where landless farmers will be awarded with undistributed lands under the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program or CARP. Duterte plans to place almost all public lands including military reserves under agrarian reform. The president also placed 400 hectares of agricultural lands in Boracay under CARP. Under his administration, the DAR created an anti-corruption task force to investigate and handle reports on alleged anomalous activities by officials and employees of the department. The department also pursued an plan zero backlog and the resolution of cases in relation to agrarian justice, delivery of the agrarian reform programs to fast track the